And welcome back indeed, adventurers, to Let's Play Steins 0. In the last episode, Suzuha Mane suddenly fell ill with a strange fever of sorts, possibly due to the fact that she's been overexerting herself due to her overbearing need to complete the mission that her father, the future Daru from 2036, entrusted to her with, the hope of getting Rintaro Okabe of 2010 to the world line known as Steins, and it seems to have taken its toll on her. Unfortunately for Suzuha, Mayushi and Yuki have been looking after her, which is the latter, of course, being a source of absolute embarrassment for Suzuha, to the point where she inadvertently let slip of the fact regarding the fact that her mother sang a particular song, which just happens to be the song that Yuki was singing, because Yuki is in fact Suzuha's future mother. But anyway, we are now back with Rintaro Okabe and MayQueen NyanNyan. As I walked into the maid cafe MayQueen NyanNyan, the cat-eared maids working there greeted me cheerfully, as they do, and it seems like it's a full house. Don't see any sign of Daru, although I'd expect him to show up at some point. It was a weekday evening, so there were more open seats than usual. And lo and behold, the prized cat maid, Faris NyanNyan, who is still insisting on trying to call Rintaro Okabe by his former persona of Hoin Kiyoma, but Hoin Kiyoma has been consigned to the dark past, and he shall never be resurrected. And I believe I mentioned in a previous episode that Mayuri does work here as a cat maid, along with Faris. So Mayuri's not here yet. That's good to know. Mayuri had been working here for a while now. Her maid name was MayQueen NyanNyan, or Meow Yushi, or something like that, in the anime. When she was a maid, she wore a long blonde wig and cat ears and looked very different from her usual self. Knowing him, he's probably here. Yep, so Daru was seated here all along. Good to know he's still a Faris otaku, as always. I looked towards the back corner and saw a silhouette I saw a silhouette sitting next to the window with the sun at its back. That would be Daru. Would that be Maho Hyajo? Alexis Leskinen? Or dare I say Amadeus Kurisu? Heaven help us, it's the latter. Please don't be Amadeus Kurisu. Oh, it's Maho. Never mind. Yeah, I wonder how Faris would feel conversing with an AI. Then again, knowing Faris, she would probably just jump right in with her improvisational skills. I called over to Maho. She was fidgeting outside the store, apparently unwilling to come in. Now it is time to see how the plebeians live. And Faris is surprisingly jealous. She's 3 years older than you. She may not look it, but she is 21. And Faris makes the same mistake that Rintaro did, along with everyone else. I think Daru might I think Daru might have a bone to pick with us about this if he overhears. Unfortunately, Faris still insists on weaving her usual imaginary tales, trying to coax Ho and Kiyoma from the heart of Rintaro Okabe, but Rintaro is having none of it. He may well declare a vote of no confidence, and I think Rintaro would probably give you that title as well. You trust me, Maho, you do not want to be dragged into a conversation with Faris NyanNyan. You'll never hear the end of it. Maho finally made it inside, and she was staring at me and Faris with suspicious eyes. I'd gone with Maho to the police to talk about the attack again. Yeah, after that rather surprising assassination attempt from the very heckler who we challenged in the Amadeus seminar, no less. It's probably a good time to actually calm our nerves down at MayQueen. After that, we both realized we hadn't eaten, so I brought her here. Faris stood up to her full height, gave her a cute little bow, and then did one of her cat-like poses. Be afraid, Maho. Be very, very afraid. Yeah, I think Maho is pretty much a fish out of water in this situation. By the way, cats eat fish. Indeed, just as I say at the beginning of every one of my Let's Play episodes, past the first episode, that is. Yeah, clearly Maho is having a very hard time processing maid cafe etiquette. Yeah, Faris' method acts too well for her and good. And I'm surprised that Faris knew that, and I'm also surprised that Faris didn't try to give a cat motif to Maho's name. Although I think she's gonna try. Believe it or not, Faris does have a network of informants, not to mention the fact that in this world line she is still responsible for much of the Moe culture development here in Akihabara. She has a few contacts here and there. To use a meme from The Simpsons, it begins. Brace yourself, Maho. First of all, the kingdom of Ryukyu, the kingdom that would later become modern Okinawa. The country had a long history that stretched over 4.5 centuries and served as a major trading point in the Asia region. The capital was located at Naha at Shuri Castle. High-ranking noble families called Wikata built castles called Gusuku on top of mountains and hills and ruled over their own local areas. In 1609, they were invaded by Satsuma province and were forced to pay tribute to both Satsuma and the Edo shogunate. Even so, the kingdom was allowed to keep its independent status, but in 1879, the Restoration government forced it to hand over Shuri Castle and it officially became part of Japan. Religious rituals were extremely important in the life of the kingdom of Ryukyu. These rituals were by priestesses, held by priestesses called Noro. By priestesses should be 2 words, it shouldn't be 1 word. Again, localization. It's going to be the end of me. But given that Faris is known for her tall cattails, I'm actually surprised that the kingdom of Ryukyu is actually a real thing. Not to mention this, Paipatiroma, a legendary island whose name written in kanji means the island between the shining summer waves. It is said to be even further south than Hataruma Island, the southernmost occupied island in Japan. In Okinawan, Pai means south, Pati means end, and Roma means coral reef, so put together it means the southernmost coral reef. Pai Pati Roma. The Okinawan faith has always believed that beyond the sea lies a mythical utopia called Nirai Kanai, and Pai Pati Roma is believed to be a variant of this. Another explanation says that geographically it could refer to the Taiwan or Lucin Island, but the truth of both theories is unknown. Another island in the Yaeyama island chain, Yonaguni Island, has a belief in a legendary island called Haidunan. This shows how deeply the Nirai Kanai belief is embedded in this area. So, even though Faris clearly wasn't the guardian of Pai Pati Roma or the Ryukyu Kingdom, it's interesting that she actually knows that particular geographic trivia. Which makes it a little bit hard. The fact that she mixes in fact and fiction makes it a little bit hard to kind of tell which is which. Of course, if you're Rintaro Okabe, you will know which is which regardless. If you're Daru, you won't care in the slightest.
そう、あの頃、フェイリスたち精霊の声はノロを通じて人々に届き、王国を正しい姿へと導いていたのにゃ。
And Faris's tales just keep coming. Noro. Festivals and religious rituals play an important part in Okinawan life, and it's always the job of a woman to lead them. This school of thought says that it's the woman who speaks with the gods is one found all around the world. During the time when Okinawa was still its own independent kingdom, the royal government specifically designated priestesses called Noro, who had greater authority than the high-ranking nobles. That's supposed to say than, not that. I'm just reading it properly. Hooray for grammar. The most important of them, the Kikoe no Ukumi, or Ukimi, sorry, the great lady who heals and prospers, was second in rank only to the king, and her influence extended even to politics and judicial matters. Since the Noro were an official rank of the Okinawan kingdom, there are only remnants now that the kingdom is gone are a few of their descendants. Thus it is civilian priestesses and spiritualists called Yuta that perform modern rituals. Let me guess, Faris is going to start talking about Yuta in less than 3 seconds.
ところが、荒ぶる怪人たちがパイパティローマに攻め込んできて、ついにフェイリスたちは。ごめんなさい。この人は何を言っているの？
I would recommend you sit down and either buy an iced coffee and have an aspirin while you're at it.
なんというか、秋葉で通じる特別な言語のようなものだな。
Yeah, this is the This is the other side of the dialect known as NyanNyan. Other than cat puns, it is obscure geographic references to mythology and so on and so
そ
forth.
うなの？
I
あ
believe
まり考
so.
えると頭がパンクするぞ。
Yeah, we definitely don't want that.
すでにパンクしそうなんだけれど。
Yeah, Maho's having trouble with the atmosphere of MayQueen.
とにかくしばらく待っててくれ。向こうに座ってる友達と話があるんだ。
Indeed, we're here to see our favorite right arm, Daru. At least that much hasn't changed in these few months. I pointed to Daru, and when she saw him by the window, her eyes narrowed.
どうかした？
Something tells me that Maho doesn't like Daru on first sight.
ずいぶん大きな人ね。
Or maybe Maho is feeling somewhat self-conscious.
後で紹介するよ。少しは痩せるように言ってやってほしいな。
Very good advice.
それじゃあ、マホにゃん、お席へ案内するにゃ。
And yeah, Faris has already started calling her Maho Nyan. Another maid has just finished clearing a table.
マホにゃん？
Just go with it, Maho.
かわいいにゃん。できれば普通に呼んでもらえないかしら。
Oh, you can't help that. Most everyone's mad around here. Faris is the proverbial Cheshire cat.
マホにゃん。
I believe right now the famous violin music from the James Cameron film Titanic would be playing right now. Fairly well, Maho. Maho remained dead silent as she was led to a seat near where Daru was sitting. I headed to Daru's table too. Take it we have something very important to talk about. I sat across from him and ordered some coffee from a nearby maid. Judging by the expression on his face, he saw our exchange and he is completely livid with us.
見損なったぞオカリン。リア充爆発しろ。
Yeah, Daru is a bona fide otaku, and the motto of some otaku is that normals must die.
レイリスと同じようなこと言うなって違うんだよ。
何が違うんだ。あんな合法ロリッコ。
Yep. Somebody give Rintaro another phone because he called it. He said that Daru would say that Maho was a legal lolly while he was after he first met her, and he was right. He definitely called it.
しかもすごく可愛いのになんだか垢抜けなくて残念な感じがたまらないよ。オカリンのくせに生意気だ。ぬふー。
そうい
Yeah,
うこと
just
本人
going
に
to
言うな
ignore
よ。
that entirely.
怒ると怖いぞ。
I glanced over at Maho, who was staring at the menu and trying her best to keep up with Faris. Unfortunately, in addition to being an otaku, Daru was somewhat of a masochist.
前に電話で話しただろ。襲われた時に一緒だった。レスキネン教授の助手の。
そんなことはどうでもいいっつうの。問題はオカリンが僕を差し置いて可愛いおにゃの子を連れ歩いているっつうことなのだぜ。
Something tells me that the moment that Daru finds out about Amadeus Kurisu, we're doomed.
お前もすればいいだろう。デートとか。
Yeah, with Yuki Amane. Oh,
闇だと さらにできるようになったな、オカリン。
I think he's just calling it like he sees it, Daru.
嫌味じゃない。ユキさんを誘ったらどうなんだ？
And I believe Rintaro just scored a bullseye on the dartboard there.
まさかまだ全然アプローチしてないのか？
That's basically correct.
いいんだ。僕は魔法使いになるんだから。
So you still pursuing that dream to become a wizard class hacker? Although there's an urban legend that if a man is still a virgin past the age of 30, he becomes a wizard. It is also said that further training can also make him into a fairy. You gotta love the internet sometimes.
おいおい、それじゃまずいだろう。鈴葉が生まれてこなくなる。
Yeah, there's a whole thing of the whole time paradox thing.
それを言われると。
Yeah, you're gonna have to at least we managed to shoot that down fast.
ユキさんのことを
Fortunately.
嫌いじゃないんだろ？
そりゃ綺麗な人だし、太ももとかうなじとかハーハーするけど。
やめないか変態。
Yeah, I think Suzuha would say the exact same thing. In fact, I think she
変
did.
態じゃないよ。変態紳士だよ。
Yes, he is a perverted gentleman.
どっちでもいい。俺は恋愛的な意味で言ってるんだ。
Yeah, Daru is not necessarily a shut-in otaku, but yeah. Daru leaned over the table and sipped his iced tea through a straw.
そういうのよくわかんないんだよね。
って子供か？
He's trying to seem sophisticated, but you're completely failing, Daru.
今日のお前が言うなすれはここですか？
And Daru believes that all forms of life is nothing more than a visual novel game, or an eroji. We stared at one another. He was right. When it came to romance, I didn't really have the right to talk. Well, there was Kurisu Makase, but that was the Alpha World line. Sadly, so that doesn't count.
まあいいや。そういう話をしたくて呼んだわけじゃないし。
確かに。本題に入ってくれ。
Looks like we're finally getting to the heart of the matter.
実はさ、話は2つあって。
Daru the otaku is gone, and in his place is Itaru Hashida. Here Daru stopped and casually looked around. There weren't many people in the cafe, and thanks to Faris, there was no one sitting near us. As long as we didn't yell, there was no risk of being overheard. Hopefully not by Faris, and definitely not by Maho. I realized that the old me's habits were coming back. Was it because I had gone through something out of a Hollywood movie?
まず1つ目な。マユシには内緒にしてほしいんだけど、人を探してるんだよ。
マユリに内緒？
So this first point is on Suzuha's personal errand.
なんで？
ちょっとね。
Yeah, Suzuha wants this little detail kept from Mayuri for very good reason, Rintaro. And Daru is going to get to that soon. I could mention it now in this episode, but I'll let Daru do the speaking, although he seemed reluctant to speak. Although he's going to speak
オカリ
anyway.
ンってさ、マユシの幼なじみだろ？マユシの友達か知り合いで、カガリって名前の子知らない？
So Daru wants Rintaro to help Suzuha look for Kagari. Well, we don't know the details as to how and why Suzuha and Kagari got separated in the first place.
Kagari?
Of course, I didn't know every single one of her friends, and I believe if Mayuri knew who Kagari was, she would have told us, but if she doesn't, and Suzuha doesn't want her to know, if we ask her and she doesn't know, then she'll want to know, which is exactly the opposite of what Suzuha wants. I never heard of that name.
いや、俺の知ってる限りは。
じゃあ名前は置いといて、マユシと特別に仲の良かった女友達とかは？
Well, the only three girls that Mayuri is particularly close to are her cosplay friends, Fubuki, Kaede, and Yuki. That's it.
そうだな。
Oh, and the only other girl is Nai Tanuji, but we can rule her out. There was a group of kids who used to play with in elementary school. I told Daru their names, but no Kagari. Of course, he knew all her friends since high school. She was especially close to Fubuki and Kaede from her cosplay group, as well as Faris and the other maids at MayQueen NyanNyan. There was also, of course, Ruka, even if he wasn't a girl.
俺が答えられるのはこの程度だ。お前が知ってることと大して変わらない。すまないな。
いや、それでも十分だ。助かった。
I believe it's time for you to spill the beans to Rintaro, Daru. Daru took out his smartphone and wrote down all the names of the girls I'd given him.
なんでマユリ本人に聞かないんだ？
まあ、いろいろあって。
There's a very vague answer there,
という
Daru.
か、誰なんだ？カガリって。どうして誰がその人を？
And Daru's trying to keep silent. Daru was unconsciously tapping the table. He clearly doesn't want to know that. He clearly doesn't want Rintaro to know that Suzuha is looking for her. He seemed to be deciding how best to explain it.
実は僕じゃなくて、鈴葉が探してるんだよね。
鈴葉が？なんで彼女がマユリの知り合いなんか？
Yeah, that's the thing. Kagari isn't a friend of Mayuri's per se. No, wait. If Suzuha was
そ
involved.
れはつまりマユリの未来に関係あるってことか。だからマユリには言えない。
Fortunately, it's not what you think, Rintaro.
まあね。
But it does involve Mayuri's future.
その子の名前さ、椎名かがりって言うんだと。
And the penny drops. Kagari's full name is Kagari Shina,
シーナ？
which is pretty big bombshell to Rintaro.
マユリの親戚か何かか？
そうじゃない。いや、そうじゃないこともない。
I think Daru is trying to explain that Kagari Shina was actually adopted by Mayuri since Kagari did lose her parents in the war.
娘なんだってさ。
ああ。
He said it so naturally that I almost missed it. I see. Her daughter, huh? Her daughter? What does daughter mean again? Oh, Rintaro. Apparently he's forgotten what the actual meaning of the word daughter is. Mayuri's daughter, but it should come back into it. And of course he almost screamed it in the maid cafe.
声がでかいっつうの。
Well, you did just drop that proverbial bombshell right into his lap with no warning. I swallowed my words as best I could. Hopefully nobody noticed.
本当なのかそれ。
うん。ただ、実の子供じゃないらしい。繊細孤児だったのを養子にしたとかなんとか。
Yeah, next time, you should probably explain that part first, Daru. In fact, you probably should have explained that first this time too. A war orphan. I couldn't even imagine what chain of events in the future would bring that about. I believe Suzuha said it best, World War III. But it sounded like a lot like something Mayuri would do. Even in the worst world line, Mayuri would still know the joy of having a child, as well as showing kindness to others. Maybe it was wrong, but that still made me feel a little better. But at the same time, I felt a little worried about whether she could raise a kid.
でも変じゃないか。なんでこの時代にマユリの娘が。
Probably a good idea to ask Suzuha about that.
鈴葉と一緒に2036年から脱出してきたみたいなんだよ。
Though it looks like Daru's connected the
なん
dots.
だって。
ところがさ、ミッションのために1998年の秋葉へ立ち寄って、そこではぐれちゃったって。
Wait a minute, they got separated in 1998. But the flashbacks we saw that they were in 1975, so I thought Suzuha was supposed to jump, unless she decided to jump 2 years before 2000.
鈴葉は必死になって探したんだけど、見つからなかったらしい。
But fortunately that means that Kagari didn't get lost in 1975.
それで1998年に置いてきたのか。
So basically, essentially Kagari would be a young woman by this point.
探してる最中、タイムマシンが見つかりそうになったみたいで、かがりを残したままジャンプせざるを得なかったって言ってた。
That's actually rather distressing turn of events.
その後は数ヶ月単位の小さな移動を繰り返していろいろ手を尽くしたんだけど。
Unfortunately, Suzuha's time machine runs on fuel, and fuel is
2000
finite.
年まで進んだところで燃料がギリギリになっちゃって。
And she found absolutely no sign of Kagari in all that time.
本来のミッションを果たすために一気に2010年まで飛んだっていうことか。
I finished his sentence and Daru nodded.
けど鈴葉は今に来てからもまだ諦めずにずっと探し続けてるんだよね。つうことで、それとなく眉氏に聞いといてくれるかな。
Well, that's actually rather a tall order, Daru.
俺が
10年ちょい前に自分と同じくらいの年の子が会いに来なかったかとか。
Something tells me that the answer to that question is going to be no. And let's work out some math here. If, say for the sake of argument, that Kagari was 8 in 1998, then that would mean that in 2008 she'd be 18, and 2 years later, that would basically make her just a year older than Maho.
Oh.
So she'd be 22.
ああ、わかった。 聞いてみるよ。
So basically just a few years older than Rintaro and Daru, obviously. If I could find her, I wanted to. Adopted or not, she was the future Mayuri's daughter. And I felt a little guilty about things with Suzuha. I wanted to help if I could. Just then, the maid brought my coffee. And Maho's still trying to deal with Faris. As I drank it, I looked over to Maho's seat. Faris had barely left her alone for an instant.
それじゃあこれからパンケーキをさらに美味しくする魔法をかけるにゃ。
I think Maho is probably wishing that Rintaro would take her away from this crazy place.
魔法
Yeah. Woman of science meet woman of magic. This can't possibly go wrong.
さあ魔法にゃもご一緒に。世界がやばいにゃ陰謀にゃ。普通に食べさせてもらえないかしら。
I think Maho's running out of energy there.
ここではこれが普通にゃ。ではどうぞ召し上がれにゃ。
I feel your pain,
い
Maho.
ただきます。あ、マホにゃん、垂れるにゃ。蜂蜜が垂れちゃうにゃ。
Yeah, that's what honey does. Or syrup, anyway.
もう赤ちゃんみたいだにゃ。
It's probably a good thing that Leskinen isn't here. He'd probably be having a ball with this place. Faris is having too much fun with Maho. They look like they were having a good time. That would be Faris having a good time. Maho, not so much. Anyway, back to Daru.
一つ目の話は分かった。で、二つ目ってのは
Indeed, the second errand that Daru wants us to do.
これオカリンに聞いていいもんか迷ったんだけど。
Could very well be top secret.
なんだ、水臭いな。
I think Daru is being serious here for once, Rintaro.
やっぱやめた方がいいかな。
Or he could just be dragging it out. He just mumbled to himself and didn't say anything. It was weird for Daru to hesitate like this. Perhaps this is something to do with his job that we have absolutely no idea what it is.
答えたくないと思ったら拒否するから。
じゃあ。
That's certainly put Daru in a bit of a spot. His hand went for his smartphone. Huh? Ryan? Looks like he doesn't want to tell us in person. This is about my secret job, so let's use this. Ah, I was right.
秘密のバイトというと
I wonder if this has to do with your capacity as a renowned super-class hacker. Daru cut me off and pointed to my phone. I guess he wanted me to use it. Was this something even more secret than what we just talked about? Hopefully Rintaro, with the Amadeus app isn't on, because if Amadeus Kurisu ever found out about this, it would definitely be bad news bears for Daru. So let's just read what it has to say. And by the way, at the bottom there it said Daru at the bottom there. Given the fact that Ryan is basically an invention of Daru's. Speaking of which, secret job. You mean you're hacking? Basically, yeah. I knew it. It's not all illegal stuff though. I make online systems for manufacturers and banks, build and admin servers, boring things like that. And I do virus analysis and make security software. There's data recovery and making new encryption tech. So basically, seriously? So like a system engineer, pretty much. Although nothing formal like that. But we've got a bit of a reputation. Our group gets jobs from all over the world. I call myself Dash. It's just basically Daru and Hashida combined together. It's basically his name. What's that short for? I can't tell you. Why? I just can't. I don't think I can help you with that. You were close to Kurisu Makase, right? Okay, Hitaru Hashida. Now you have our interest piqued. The one name. Huh? What do you mean? I want some help with her. I've hit a dead end with this job I'm doing. A job you're doing? What do you mean? Daru definitely doesn't want to talk. Well, if you don't want to talk at MayQueen NyanNyan, you probably should pick a different spot.
ごめん、やっぱやめとく。
That he's keeping a lid on it, unfortunately. Daru said that to me directly and was about to put away his phone.
待て待て。ここでやめられたら気になって夜も眠れなくなるだろう。
Indeed. Now that you've uttered the name Kurisu Makase, Rintaro has no other alternative, no other choice. If he lets this go, it's only gonna eat away at his sanity.
でも、
あんまり気を使うなよ。その方がかえって辛くなる。
And Rintaro is trying to make Daru feel a little better.
わかったお。
He whispered and sent me another message on Rhine. And we're back to the phone. Someone brought in a laptop and a portable hard drive to us a while back. Both of them have really strong and full disk encryption on them and can't be booted without a password. Of course, you can't take the hard drive out and connect it to another PC either. I wonder, could this laptop and hard drive possibly have belonged to Kurisu Makase? The client hit up a bunch of places with no luck and finally came to us. Is the encryption that strong? I've heard that even full disk encryption can be broken by a pro. Not happening with this one. You know why? We were the ones who made it. So, you have to break into a security system that you yourselves invented, and of course it goes without saying that if the creators of the said security system could break into their own security, what's the point of having the security? You guys made it, then can't you deal with it yourself? I'm a believer that encryption needs to be a poison without an antidote, or there's no point. So you don't know how to break the code, even though you made it. Exactly. If we can break it, then other hackers who are just as good as us can break it too, right? And that's no good. I see. And don't call me a super hacker, angry emoji, but you are a super hacker. An extraordinarily talented hacker or someone who claims to be one. Also used as a threat when an argument on an anonymous message board gets out of hand. For example, my buddy is a super hacker and he'll hack you and find out your real name. From here the term grew to reference grew to refer to clearly extremely talented hackers who don't exist. Also, OTSU, short for Osukare-sama, which means good work or way to go. Net slang. Don't know why that popped up there. I didn't. But what has this got to do with Kurisu? Well, that's the $64 billion question. So apparently the laptop and hard drive belong to Kurisu Makase. Yet another wrinkle. First Amadeus Kurisu. First Amadeus Kurisu. And now a laptop and hard drive that belonged to the now deceased Kurisu Makase. A laptop and hard drive that may or may not have existed in the Alpha world line, given that Rintaro had no reason to ask whether or not she had one, let alone whether it existed in the first place, and I doubt that Kurisu herself would have told him about it even if he did. But I believe, and on that bombshell, adventurers, it's time to end this episode of Let's Play Steins Gate. When we return, adventurers, in the next episode, we'll see if we can't get a little bit more information out of Daru concerning this very laptop, and also find out a little bit more about his other job in question. As always, until next we meet, adventurers.